We've always had room in our hearts for film and TV, not just on Netflix, but tape and disc and theaters. And also, God forbid that they take it all away and leave us nothing to broadcast to loyal listeners. We'll binge watch every single movie, so you don't have to. What else are we here for? Coming to you every week. Listen to us while you're busy. Luckily, we forgot to grow up. Hey everybody, it's Craig.
Hey, it's Scott.
I am Groot.
Wow. Didn't take long to derail me. Welcome to episode
I'm wearing an I am
number
Groot t-shirt.
Oh, there you go. See, I didn't even see that.
It says I am Groot twice. It's the most interesting man in the world with Groot.
Yeah, it's good to say.
For our audio listeners.
For you, yes, for our audio listeners.
I was going to describe it.
Hey, it's Andrew.
Yeah, there we go. I was just going to go right into it. Welcome to episode number 28 of the Forgot to Grow Up podcast. On this week's episode, we're going to talk about Tim Allen.
You could try to be a little more psyched about it, man.
We're going to talk about Tim Allen and Sears.
There we go.
And Rowan, and mowing his lawn in the dark, because that sounds like fun.
There we go. Speaking of which, I got to go, guys.
Did you buy your, I was going to say, did you buy your Craftsman lawnmower, but they don't exist anymore.
Nope.
Headlights on it so they can, so you can mow it in the dark.
Yep.
That poor guy's, well, I mean, his stand-up really held its own for a while, and now it's completely out of date.
Yep. It is not timeless.
Not anymore.
His comedy is more like a Dane Cook joke now, where it's funny briefly, and then you think about it.
And then you're like,
Then
oh,
you look back
Sears.
5 years later. Yeah, oh, Sears, yeah. It's just depressing now. It's like,
Yeah.
oh.
Oh.
You used to be the biggest retailer in the world. Now
And then mismanagement
you're a
happened.
joke.
Now you're the
Unless you
Ford
count the Wonka
of
factory.
superstores. Promise. John Mulaney jokes right off the top. So since Craig derailed himself after
I
I
wasn't sure if we're going
derailed
to bring
it,
it back
I'm all
or not.
done. Then we're going to talk about what we watched this week. www and all that stuff. I don't know.
stuff, words,
Podcast.
Thanks for listening, guys.
See you next
Have a good week. Bye.
Oh, man. Okay.
No, seriously, though. Seriously. Bringing it back. Those jokes were all kind of semi-related to the topic, which is Tim Allen movies.
Tim Allen.
Well, Tim Allen in general.
They're fun. They're fun. We have fun.
They're funny, yes. And they're very, very tool related, which is why we were talking about Sears so much. For those people who have not ever seen a Tim Allen stand-up.
He is
special.
Tim
Yeah,
the Toolman
Taylor.
Taylor.
That's half of his stand-up is just about Sears. And how
Well, can you blame him?
it. Yeah.
Bare naked lady joke. There we go. Fucking just killing it. One week
Anyway.
we're gonna start this pretty quickly.
We're actually going to talk about Tim Allen now, maybe.
Maybe.
Maybe we
Who's
should talk
gonna
about.
take it?
We'll
Well,
just talk
okay.
about Home Improvement. Let's
Okay,
talk
there we
about
go.
Home
That's
Improvement.
fair.
It's tool related.
We're a
was other
couple of
tool stuff in
tools.
that.
I was going to say we're
We-
We're all
we need-
tools. Yeah,
Podcast improvement. There we go.
3 tools in the toolbox. A Binford toolbox.
That's our new segment, by the way.
There we go.
3
What?
tools in a
3 tools in a
toolbox.
toolbox?
Three tools in a toolbox. And we'll talk about like movie tropes or something like that.
That sounds like a really terrible, joke. Like 3 tools walk into a toolbox, and there they sit because the person who owns them doesn't know how to use them.
Come on.
Ayo!
Whoopa.
Whoopa!
And there they sit because their owner is a condo owner in New York City.
Barney Stinson?
Yeah.
Because that's exactly who I was thinking of.
Any 90s sitcom star?
That's fair. That's fair. Okay, so
Speaking of 90s
Home
sitcoms,
Improvement.
90s
Home
sitcoms,
Improvement.
bringing it back. Home Improvement.
There
the
we
story
go.
of a family, Tim the Toolman Taylor and his 3 sons,
and his
and his
neighbor.
wife, and his neighbor, who was the best. He's the best character in all of it. He got overshone by that fence.
The fact that they managed to keep that fence throughout the whole series.
I love that bit.
The fence
Like,
is as much
like-
a character as anyone else on that show.
Absolutely.
Well, not even just the fence. It was the general face coverings. So that was my favorite, when you would have him in a non-fence situation. Like, he'd walk up, like, he'd find him at the hardware store, but he'd just be on the other side of the shelf. So
what is it, the last episode where he does the wedding and he's got the book up here while
he's got the book
reading.
up there. Exactly. Like, all those dumb little things he would do to, like, block his face. And, like, sometimes it was, like, really obvious, and other times it was just, like, the way they panned the camera.
It just happened to be there.
It was enjoyable.
Like if from now on we do the podcast like this, we're like, hey everybody, how's it going? Yep. For those of you listening, for you just listening, I covered my face with the mic.
For those of you who are listening, that's why he was so close to your face. I'm sorry.
Yes. Sorry, guys. I'm inside of your heart.
I thought you were just going to say I'm inside you.
And I was like, please don't say that. Please don't say that.
Truth be told, I was going to, and then I didn't even think ahead. It's just, I was gonna say I'm inside you, and I was like, nope, that's too creepy. That is very creepy. I need to redirect this train.
Back to Home Improvement.
Back to Home Improvement. Scott, I know you love that show.
I do. It's actually one of the shows that I first bought on DVD when I was younger. Like, when everything was coming out on DVD, before Netflix was huge and had
when they used to box set that shit and people had to buy it.
Exactly, when you had to buy box sets. So it was one of my first, because I really loved it growing up. Me and my dad and my family would always watch it together on, what was it? It was TBS, which eventually became Peachtree TV, which eventually became something else after that.
Wait, it's not Peachtree anymore?
I don't know. I haven't had cable in 15 years.
Damn.
That seems like a big exaggeration there, Scott.
No, actually, I haven't had cable in a very long. It's maybe
since you were 10.
Okay, maybe let's go a decade. We'll say a decade. Because it's been forever. I haven't had cable in a very long time. Yeah, because I lived off DVD sets like Home Improvement. But I just always liked, like, the quirkiness of, like, Tim Allen's character in it, like Tim the Toolman. Like, he's this old, like, uber macho guy who just always trying to make everything more power. And I just like the kind of, like, caricature of it that he is. Like, you know what I mean? He's like, it's obviously no one's really that rambunctious and gets into that much trouble all the time, or anyone's that
egotistical to
like with every
to feel like they're
thing.
the most
right. So it's like, it's a fun kind of caricature, and I always connected to it when I was younger because there was 3 sons in it. I have 2 brothers as well, so there was 3 of us. You kind of make these kind of connections with certain families when you're younger. So that was always kind of a cool thing, and the fact that the show ran for 8 or 9 years.
I have it here.
Like,
just a second.
I feel like it was
99.
Was it 8?
Yeah.
All the way up to 99.
Yeah, 91. I think it was 91. Wasn't it?
91 to 99.
Yeah, so I pretty much grew up with that family, right? Like, it started a couple of years before I was born, but it was one of the first shows I was watched with my family, and it was just like, it was cool to watch the whole family grow up. I love that they kept most of the cast around. Like, they didn't really ever recast. Like, the couple times that they had somebody leave, they came up with a good reason.
Reason. I hate recasting in the middle of shows.
Yeah,
I can't. Like they did it on what was
his other show actually, Last Man Standing.
They do with the eldest daughter.
Yep.
But I hated it in I forget what it was. One of the Wayans, his TV show. Oh, I can't remember. Loved that show though.
I haven't seen it.
Like, it used to be on Peachtree, I'm pretty sure, back when it was TBS.
Probably.
Funny ass show, but they recast the daughter like twice, and I was like, God damn it! Like, I can't keep up with this shit.
It's just like, wait, that's supposed, because they never, like, I like when shows kind of address it, like, a little bit with some kind of, like, joke, like, oh, you look different, and then, like, oh yeah, I got a haircut. Like, that's a funny enough joke. Like, oh, that's supposed to be the same character.
Or you got a nose job.
Yeah.
Yeah, something like that.
It was a deviated septum.
It was for your health.
That's for your health. Looks a lot like Adam Scott. Anyways, yes, I also like that show. Although, truthfully, if I'm being honest with myself, I think I liked Last Man Standing a little more. Okay. But it might be just because it fed off that same equation that they came up with for that formula.
Yeah.
They'd use that, and then they tinkered with it a little bit here and there. And I just like the fact that it wasn't like him trying to raise boys.
Yeah.
who were like, he was trying to like repurpose them and make them into him, whereas with the girls he's like, what the hell do I do?
Like, he has no idea what to do. Yeah,
and
it's a little more interesting.
He's got the one daughter
yeah.
who's actually capable of like doing stuff that he's capable of doing.
Yeah.
And his other two daughters are a little more feminine, so he has one and he's like, you know what, I can work with this.
Yeah.
The other two he's like, I don't know, what do I do?
No, I definitely agree with that. Yeah,
totally valid, because what do you do? I don't know.
I don't know. I don't know.
Juice.
Juice. But no, in Last Man Standing, I'd agree. It definitely is a little bit more of a interesting dynamic with the characters, because he's not just raising three boys who are just have like the problems that he knows how to deal with, in a sense, right? Like he didn't ever run into too many things like, oh, I don't know how to really deal with this necessarily. It was more like, oh, like
I'm the only one who knows how to deal with this. Oh shit, wait, maybe I'm not.
Yeah, that's pretty much
every
how it works.
Episode.
Like he thinks he knows how it works, and then he goes too far because that's how he is. But he's like, he pretty much learns every episode in Home Improvement that not everybody else is as crazy as he is.
Yep.
So he has to tone that shit down.
Yep. Just like in Last Man Standing, where he's super conservative, and then every episode he comes a little bit closer to center.
Yeah, just a little bit. Everyone.
Just a little bit.
It's an African American neighbor.
Yep. And they argue all the time, but they're really buddies. And his name's Charles, I believe. It's Charles? Yes.
I think so.
Sounds familiar.
I gotta catch up on the latest.
I just watched it this week. That's how bad it was.
Man, I'm looking at it right now. Give me a second.
I watched like 3 seasons. Wilson.
His full name is Wilson Jr.
No, we're talking. I'm talking
neighbor.
I'm talking Last Man Standing.
Okay.
Yeah, I knew it was Wilson.
I'm looking at Home Improvement. I'm sorry.
Okay, so while
busy.
Craig is doing that, reminiscing about the past, I'm gonna pitch you guys my Tim Allen Halos in Hollywood that I thought about today while driving home from work for that 35-second drive.
Yeah, I was gonna say this is not gonna be a long pitch.
Okay. Tim Allen, Eva Longoria. They're married. They're living somewhere. Don't ask me where. I kind of think maybe New York, like on the outskirts, and maybe some suburban New York.
Michigan.
Or
Michigan, suburban Detroit.
It's always Michigan.
No, can't do Detroit.
Why not?
It's got to be, what is it? Blue state? Is that a liberal state? Is that
Michigan?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Probably.
No. The Democrats, are those blue states or red states? I always forget.
States.
They were blue states. Okay, so it's got to be a blue state.
Yeah,
so
just remember that
he's
the
conservative
opposite.
in a blue state.
The
Yeah, that's
opposite
true.
of what Canada is.
Yeah, okay, so it's a blue state. It's got to be a blue state, something a little more liberal, run by the Democrats. So it's him. Eva Longoria is his wife. They're living together. Okay. Her brother and his husband are going through some shit with their house, so they have to move in with them. Okay. Her brother, played by Michael Pena.
Yeah.
And then his husband, Ted Danson.
Okay.
So they move in. Ted Danson is useless. He is like the least macho person on the face of the earth, whereas Tim Allen is super fucking macho.
So he's very similar to his character in The Good Place.
Yeah. That's where I got. That's why I picked Ted Danson for this, because the way he dressed and the way he acted, it translates almost seamlessly. So anyways, Michael Pena, he has some good job. I don't know, some government job maybe. Work for the post office or something. He's got some good paying job, whereas Ted Danson does not have a job. He stays home, just looks after the house. Okay. Well, Eva Longoria is a lawyer. She's got to go to the office all day, leaving Tim at home to run his business out of their house. He has to deal with Ted Danson, who doesn't know how to do shit.
Coming in,
but Tim does. Borrowing tools and just
not
leaving
asking
them places.
for help.
No.
Tools.
And losing them, breaking them.
And then,
but they become like
ridiculous...
best friends.
Yes, exactly.
That's it. That's my pitch.
Is this a movie or a TV show?
TV show.
Okay, so then in true sitcom fashion, and to play off of Tim Allen's other TV shows, Ted Danson has to keep showing up looking like he just lost a match with the belt sander.
Yep.
Yeah.
Every episode.
He looks like he started. He got in a fight while fixing a motorcycle in his living room.
Yeah.
They also need 2 adopted kids that are running around that Tim has to deal with, because Tim and his wife never had kids, so you got to bring in the element of the kids.
But at the last episode of season 1 on cliffhanger status, because we don't know if it's going to get picked up, Eva Longoria is pregnant. Boom.
Oh, add an extra little thing into the mix.
It was totally unexpected. Total fluke.
Do you think Eva would do TV? Has she done TV?
That's what she started on TV. She was on. She was in Desperate Housewives. She was on. Was it the Young and the Restless? I think. She was on. She was in. She was in like 3 episodes of Brooklyn Nine-Nine that one time.
Well, that doesn't count as.
She was a lawyer.
Okay. Anyways.
It could be that character translated into this sitcom. And then we could do a Brooklyn Nine-Nine crossover. Probably not, but we'll talk about it. We'll worry about that.
We'll talk to Hollywood about that. Yeah.
It's okay. If we convince Michael Schur to take care of it, it'll be fine.
There we go. And then they'll have to bring in all the other characters from both of Tim Allen's other sitcoms to make cameos. Like where one of his kids owns a restaurant that his daughter works at, and you're like, can't do it. Stop making references to being the middle kid, man.
Yep. I love that in Last Man Standing, though. Them bringing all the like home improvement kids and wife over just to mess with him a little bit.
I loved when they brought Alan as the
that was
as
pretty great.
Was he not contractor? Was he a architect or something? And he ends up just getting punched in the face.
Yeah, I think it was something like that.
His life's going to it's so good. But moving on, I also very much loved the Toy Story movies.
Yes.
Even with Toy Story 4 coming out. I think I can't imagine any voice other than Tim Allen's with Buzz Lightyear. Like I feel like he's just got the right amount of ego and snarkiness mixed in with, ooh, maybe I shouldn't have done that. Like I feel like all those brought together.
Yeah, along with like the kind of military kind of like procedural kind of voice.
Yeah.
Like he's like as Buzz, like when he's talking up his arm and stuff. I can't remember what the name of the planet he talks to. Was it Star Command?
Star Command, yeah.
Is it?
Yeah, Star Command.
Okay. All right, yeah. Calling Star Command. Yeah, that sounds right. Anyways, I really love the Toy Stories when I was younger. My favorite Disney movie before Pirates of the Caribbean came out. But yeah, I always loved Toy Story, and Buzz Lightyear was the one I really like connected with too, because he was an astronaut in a freaking kids movie, right? So like, I like the
sad, strange little man.
Yeah. The best line ever. It's such a cold insult. Like looking back on it as an adult now, I'm like, wow, that's probably why I'm such a dick. You're sad.
Just the dead eyes. Like, okay, well, you're a sad, strange little man. Anyways, back onto this topic.
Yeah, back onto what I care about.
Yeah, back onto important shit.
Yeah, and his character, the fact that I like the kind of. The fact that it's kind of a strange world to begin with in Toy Story, and then that he's the oddball out who doesn't realize he's a toy. That's what captivated me about Toy Story. And I think he did a really great job of kind of like sticking to that kind of
toy. You're a child's plaything.
Yeah, and it's hard to say too much because it was mostly his voice, so I am giving him a lot of credit for what the drawings were.
Yeah.
In my mind, but yeah,
can you imagine being a voice actor? Like that's just got to be so hard. Like,
yes.
I mean, I guess not totally, because there's a lot of like cartoons from when we were kids where it's the same voice for everything.
Well, see, you saying that, I'm just like, well, that's because it's so hard. Only a few people can do it, right? Like, it's not as many people.
But they use the same.
I mean,
they use like the same voice for like multiple characters over like different shows.
Yeah, well, because
There's only so many voices, I guess.
Yeah, well, and like there's so many
voices
many voices, only so many people who have the ability to like sit behind, like, because it is a different process. It isn't just recording. It's recording to an animation that's already been drawn and like lining up with it. I actually listened to a really interesting podcast with Kevin Smith and Mark Hamill and they were talking about how like Mark Hamill did the Joker, and he was explaining all like the process of, you know, they first do the drawings, then he comes in and does the like talking to match up with it, and the different like exaggerations with his voice and whatnot, and then they'll go in and tweak it just a little bit more so that all lines up perfectly. But yeah, like it's pretty with, like crazy thing to do.
Like in the Wolverine movies with Hugh Jackman, like pretending to run through a woods and actually like recording his killing noises to put over him running through the woods and killing people.
Exactly.
There's a really good documentary on Netflix, or at least it was on Netflix, called I Know That Voice. It's about voice actors.
Okay, I saw it. Yeah.
Yep.
That sounds really interesting, actually.
Like Tino Tonatini from The Weekenders also plays Bard Allen in the second season of Young Justice.
Oh,
he plays Impulse, and I remember the first time I watched season 2, I was like, "Is that fucking Tino Tonatini?" So you Google Young Justice, you find Bard Allen, you click on it, it's Tino Tonatini.
Nice. I'm not as good at like recognizing the different like names who do the voice acting, because you do see them cross over a lot between different things.
I'm terrible with the names, but I'll recognize the character usually.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah.
Like Buzz Lightyear doing Star Wars, and then translating into Buzz Lightyear of Star Command, the animated Buzz Lightyear movie. You guys didn't watch that?
Nope.
What? Oh man, that movie is actually so good. That movie translated and created like the Buzz Lightyear of Star Command TV show.
Oh, snap.
I was on
I've
Disney
seen
Channel.
A little bit of that when I was...
it's so good. They've got XR, which is this sarcastic little robot. I can't remember who voices these people. I feel like I gotta pull it up now. But they got XR. They've got Booster, which is this big fat red alien guy who was a janitor who became a Star Command ranger. Yeah, I guess it was a ranger. Did you guys hear my dog barking?
Yeah,
right
I was waiting for you to say. I was waiting for
Ugh.
Roxy.
Whoops.
That's our podcast dog for our listeners. Just to let you know, the official podcast or official dog of the podcast.
Aw, thanks guys.
Well, I don't have a dog.
Yeah,
that's
she's
fair.
the only dog for the podcast. Don't feel that special.
Kind of position.
Well, I clicked on the wrong thing, but I clicked on the TV show by accident. But did you guys know that Patrick Warburton plays Buzz Lightyear in the animated TV show?
I can't even picture that.
I didn't know that the TV show existed before now.
Yeah, me neither. But I can't picture Patrick
fair.
Warburton as
no?
Buzz Lightyear. No.
Oh man. You can only picture him in like a leisure suit, eh? Listening to Loverboy.
Or in a wheelchair.
Oh, so you both know who that is. Okay.
Patrick Warburton. He voices Joe. He was the mechanic in Seinfeld who dated.
Yes. Yeah, he stole the move.
Elaine. Yeah, he stole the move, and then he also used George's move, which was super disappointing to Elaine.
It's not cool.
Yeah, not cool.
Not cool.
So, anyways, Nicole Sullivan from Mad TV, she voices Mira Nova, another ranger. Larry Miller is XR.
Buzz Lightyear show, okay.
Yeah, I told you I was gonna pull this show up. So Larry
Tim Allen related.
Yeah, it is. No, this is the Buzz Lightyear movie I was talking about.
Oh, okay. I thought you were talking about the TV show still, and I was like,
no.
He wasn't in the. You just said he wasn't in the TV show.
No, this is the movie. We got Nicole Sullivan playing Mira, Larry Miller as XR, Wayne Knight. So back to Seinfeld.
Yeah.
Wayne Knight plays Evil Emperor Zurg.
I can't imagine him doing voice acting.
You guys are so much better with names than I am.
He was
somebody referred to Newman the other day and actually named the actor, and I was like, oh, that's his name.
That's his name. You mean Newman? Do you know who we're talking about, Scott?
Yo, I know who Newman is.
Okay,
that one's easy.
Oh shit.
Like,
Patrick Warburton's also in this. Apparently, he plays the LGMs, the Little Green Men.
In the show?
The show
now? Okay.
Yes.
I hope
the movie.
I hope they all talk like Patrick
about
Warburton.
the movie.
I hope he didn't change his voice.
So
It's just Patrick Warburton saying the lines of the Little Green Men.
Just doing his Joe voice.
I
hate sitting in this chair. Adam Carolla is Commander Nebula. Oh man. And they have the main other villain in it. I can't remember his name, but I'm pretty sure he was voiced by the guy who was on Drew Carey show.
That's useful.
At all.
Craig
That's
Ferguson.
literally half a dozen people on that
Not
show.
Craig Ferguson.
Not Craig Ferguson?
Diedrich Bader. That's who it was.
Yeah,
That's literally the only one whose name I didn't know.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
I was like, the other one was on...
Whose line is it anyway?
Ryan Stiles. Yep.
Yep.
Ryan Stiles. He's the tall one, right?
Yes, he's the tall one.
Yep. The
What's the
tall
bald one?
super.
Colin
Mockery.
Colin Mockery.
Yeah, that was the one I was thinking of. Anyways,
So that's my
Allen?
pitch. My pitch about or not my pitch. My information about Buzz Lightyear's Dark Man. Loved that show. He was a hero in that movie. Well, I love both. I stand by it. I love both. But yes, I love the movie.
Okay. Craig,
Zooming
why
on.
don't you tell us yeah. Oh, do you want to just go to Zoom, or should we let Craig say something?
No, go to Zoom because I have nothing to say about that. And then
Okay. Well, I loved Zoom. Zoom was I don't want to call it a superhero movie, but it was.
It was a
kind of
superhero movie.
It was, but
he was a superhero.
I know, but it doesn't feel like a superhero movie per se. But it is because it's about superheroes. It's almost like a Fantastic Four ripoff a little bit, kind of,
yeah,
just a little bit. But this came out around the same time as Sky High, and Sky High was slightly better. But anyways, Zoom was still awesome.
It had Courtney Cox in it.
Yeah, Courtney Cox. It had a bunch, all like the young, like the young chick was like Kate Mara,
yeah.
Mara, yeah.
Who went on to become the invisible? Who went on to become the invisible?
Yeah, woman.
Invisible girl. Yeah, invisible woman. Yeah.
Is it woman or girl? Anyways, that's not important. That's not what we were talking about. We were talking about Zoom, where he's this retired,
Chevy Chase is in it too.
Yeah, he's like he runs the facility, I think.
I've never seen.
Yes, that's true. I think he's like the Q type guy.
So Tim Allen's character is this like retired superhero who in his younger days was Captain Zoom, who went and did superhero stuff. I don't know. Yeah, he was kind of a speedster, I guess. I can't remember.
He was a speedster.
I haven't watched the movie in a decade. I'm just going off what I remember from IMDb, flipping through it just before this.
You don't remember him using his finger and making it go real fast to fucking stir his coffee?
I do now that you say that. Like, see, like it's weird how my memory works because you can say these things, and I'm like, yeah, okay, I can picture that scene, but just try to. You ask me what happened, and I'm like, it was a superhero thing. He trains a team. Anyways, so he was retired. He comes back to have to train a team of youngsters
because his brother is coming back.
Yeah, which I thought was a cool dynamic. His brother's kind of lame in it, but whatever.
Yeah, so they lame ass fight.
Super campy, like.
Yep.
Like a little bit more than I like. That's probably why I'm a little like I like this movie, but it's because of how like ridiculous it is, and just because I like Tim Allen. Like I don't think I would have watched this movie otherwise if it wasn't Tim Allen or some comedian who I liked, because otherwise this doesn't have a whole lot of appeal. It was a little bit,
Yeah, that's true.
But it was still fun. It was funny. I'm always down for a retired superhero.
I like that the little girl had super strength. Like that was just so.
Yeah, that was cool.
The irony behind it. Yeah. And she's just like this super little sweetheart who's just like, oh yeah, by the way, piss off. She'll throw you across the room.
Yeah, I just thought all their powers were a little cliche for them being newly invented. Like this was I think it was created just for like the movie. I don't think it was a comic book or anything before, like based off of property. I think it was just an original creation for that, but it just felt a little unoriginal to me. Like, I mean, you could come up with like slight more variations. I like when superheroes have to have like a little bit of like limitations with their powers. So like, but like this was more just about these kids discovering their powers, and this came out after X-Men, so like it did feel like a slight step down, but it was a good Tim Allen movie.
It was a kid movie, man.
It really was. I know. The thing is, I also watched this as I was leaving the kid age, and I was resistant to it at the time. I'm not saying it's bad. It's just saying it's not very good. It's just
I do gotta say, I do not like the fact that they made the fat kid the one who like explodes and gets even fatter. I did, as a fat kid myself, I did not like that, and as a fat man, we get to do those things. You can't do that thing to us. And you can go sit in a chair in a corner and think about what you did.
A decade ago. 12 years ago.
Yeah. I will not stand for this sort of embarrassment to my people.
That kid did okay for himself after that, I think. He's in something else.
Yeah, Cat in the Hat.
There you go. Yeah.
Yeah, that's
the only other thing I remember.
That's the thing that it screwed him over.
Oh yeah.
He was also in a couple of the Santa Clauses. He was the annoying elf.
Oh, he was. Yeah. He wasn't even the cool one.
I only remembered that now that we were just talking about it more. Before I was trying to figure out who he was in it because I was scrolling through IMDb and I noticed that he was in this and I was like, you look familiar. And it showed him in all the Tim Allen, a bunch of Tim Allen movies. And I'm like, is my IMDb screwing up? Is this kid only in Tim Allen movies? Yes, he's only in Tim Allen movies. And
what?
Except for Cat in the Hat. And then Cat in the Hat, it was the first time he wasn't, and he lost a career after that.
Yep. It's I can't remember his name. The guy who plays Deuce Bigelow. Him in all the Adam Sandler movies. Where he has to. Yeah, Rob Schneider and Kevin Spade. They have to have little cameos.
Yep.
Did I say Kevin Spade or Kevin James?
You said Kevin Spade.
Yeah, I meant Kevin James. I mixed the two together, grown-up style.
Kevin Spade had a tiny little bit more success than that.
Kevin Spade doesn't exist.
Kind of.
Not much. Not much.
Kevin Spade doesn't exist.
Anyways, should we move on to a Tim Allen movie that maybe Craig knows something about?
Like the Santa Claus, because we just talked about how this kid was in the Santa Claus?
Yeah, I was going to say, I figured that some of the ones he would have seen.
One of my favorite movies is The Santa Claus.
I would concur with that. It's one of my favorite Christmas movies. I should put an asterisk on that.
Well, we already talked about that on our Christmas episode.
Yes, definitely. I've definitely covered this before, but we have to, just give a little highlight to it. My favorite is the original of the three. They went too far with the third one.
I liked the second one.
The second one was okay. I liked the concept. The third one was just too far. I liked it, but I felt it was executed poorly. I liked the idea of them having this Jack Frost villain, but then they just hammed it up with the robots and stuff.
They shouldn't have cast Martin Short.
I won't comment on that because he is a Canadian icon.
Yeah, I like Martin Short.
I have no use for that guy. No use for him.
I could see
unless he comes on our podcast.
Well, after you saying that, I doubt he will.
I'm gonna put in a call.
We do all know his cousin.
Yeah,
this is Canada. There's 14 of us.
Yep.
I implied
14,
that I have Martin Short's phone number.
It's called a baker's dozen in a little bit. In a Timbit. It's a baker's dozen in a Timbit.
Baker's dozen in a Timbit?
Yeah, that's 14.
There we go.
Baker's dozen in a Timbit. Anyways.
There we go. That's a new trendsetter right there.
Yeah. I like that. I'm actually going to use that more. Anyways. Do we really want to go too much into Santa Claus?
We kind of talked about it already.
That's what I was asking.
We already talked about it at Christmas.
So if anyone wants to hear our thoughts about the Santa Claus movies, go back to our Christmas episode. It's episode 15 or something like that.
Somewhere around there. That seems really close. Here,
I think I'm pretty close to that.
For the sake of brevity, I'll go back and look. It's really not brief at all.
No. Anyways, we'll move on to... Are we going to talk about Jungle to Jungle, or are we going to skip that as well?
I didn't watch it. I meant to, and then just didn't.
I forgot
I meant to learn about cars, and then forgot.
It's episode 11.
11. Oh, I was a little off. So our Christmas episode's episode 11. So if you want to hear about the Santa Claus, you can go listen to it there. It's along with Christmas with the Cranks. I'm throwing that in there, too. It's not a Tim Allen one. It's okay.
Yes!
But we mentioned it back then, too.
That's true.
Yeah.
Love Christmas with the Cranks.
Yeah. But we talked about Jungle to Jungle last week a little bit.
We pretty much recouped it because we couldn't figure out what the hell it was about.
Yeah, then we had to look it up. Right. Okay, so Jungle to Jungle's off the list. That takes me next to Wild Hogs.
Yes.
How did you guys feel about Wild Hogs?
Man, it got shit on, but I actually personally enjoyed it.
I remember
William H. Macy is a total dork.
Which I love.
It's got Martin Lawrence in it.
Yep, and then John Travolta.
Who thinks he's a badass.
Yeah, which I loved. They're
a bunch of middle-aged guys whose lives are mediocre, And they're just like, you know what? We need to do something cool because our lives are mediocre.
And I felt all these actors were in that exact position in their real lives at the time of this movie. And because that's one thing I remember
Pulp
with this
Fiction
movie.
was
It felt
long
like
behind John Travolta.
Yeah. So far behind him. And I felt that this was very much like a kind of them trying to be kind of meta about it. Like, hey guys, we know we're old and trying to be cool, but guess what? We're gonna do it fucking anyways.
And the fact that they got Ray Liotta as the motorcycle gang leader, that is unbelievable.
This does have quite a cast, to be honest. I can't remember them all now, but when I was looking at IMDb again, because that's where I get all my information for these podcasts. When I was looking through IMDb, I noticed like a bunch of like big-ish names, medium to big names. But yeah, it was just, I liked it. It was fun. I agree. It kind of got shit on a lot. Like, I feel like some comedies get shit on way too much. It did.
I feel like because people don't accept them for what they are, which is campy, corny comedies.
Yeah, it's supposed to, like, you're supposed to be laughing at pretty much everything that's happening. Yeah. So when something ridiculous happens that wouldn't happen in real life, it's because it's a movie and it's supposed to be stupid and ridiculous.
Let's be real. There's only so many different directions you can take anything.
Yeah, every story's ever been written.
Oh, you mean the handsome rich guy's going through a lot of shit in his life? Okay, yeah, that makes sense because it happens all the friggin' time.
Yeah.
Oh, the super corny loser one of the group ends up hooking up with the hot chick? Yeah, okay, because you have to do that, or else you're being rude to him because maybe he's not actually going to be able to do that in real life. Oh, you mean the middle-aged white?
Sidetracked with
wow.
You mean the middle-aged white guy who's had a heart attack and he's having his health problems and his wife is trying to do her job by cracking the whip and being like, hey, honey, you need to take better care of yourself. And he's like, I just want butter, damn it.
Some guys like butter.
I just want to eat a goddamn steak.
Hey, butter.
Oh, God.
Family Guy.
Family Guy.
I know.
Here's wife's cookies.
Anyways, we get so off track sometimes.
Some guys like butter.
Any other comments about Wild Hogs?
No, I think I made my point.
Yeah. Well, the last thing I had on my list of Tim Allen movies that we haven't talked about already was Galaxy Quest. Craig, have you ever seen Galaxy Quest?
I've seen it like 6 times.
Okay.
He watched
before.
I watched it this weekend.
I forgot.
I specifically went and looked for it.
We need content, Craig. I'm trying to get
Did you guys ever watch the show? That was a quote from Galaxy Quest.
I got that. I didn't know
Sigourney
what the next
Weaver.
line was yet.
Yes.
Yes, but when this came out, I remember at the time I was just at that age where I remember like getting excited about movies. Does that make sense? Like just at the time you'd be you were, old enough that you could see into the future enough to anticipate a movie coming out in the future. Yeah. You don't live for the 5 seconds in front of you as a 5-year-old. But
luckily we were 6 when this movie came out.
Yes, exactly. And I remember my parents really liked this because they were always big Star Trek fans. So this was always kind of not a poking fun at Star Trek, but kind of a little bit of a spoof, a little bit of a homage to it in the same way. I don't know how else you'd really put it, but it's just...
I kind of, I guess. I like that they go to Comic-Con type thing, or and they meet all the, the Trekkies.
Yeah, exactly.
So to speak, and they're doing the panel, and these guys, they're kind of washed up. They're like, oh, well, fuck, this is all we've ever done.
Yeah, and I thought, and I really loved it because all the actors in it are actually, legitimate, especially at the time.
Yeah,
big
Tim
actors.
Allen, fucking Sigourney Weaver, you got Sam Rockwell, got Alan Rickman. You got, what's his name? I can picture him.
There's one more dude.
Oh, he was in Spy Kids. Something Shalhoub. Was it Tony Shalhoub? No.
Danny?
Not Danny.
I'm looking it up.
Fuck.
Anyways, Galaxy Quest. Awesome.
Was it Tony Shalhoub? I feel like it's Tony Shalhoub.
He's looking it up. I'm not going to be able to help you past that point.
Give me a second. Network is slow.
I know he was in. You know
who else is in it?
Spy Kids. Is he?
Yeah.
Who does he play?
He's one of the aliens. It's Tony Shalhoub, by the way.
Tony Shalhoub. Okay.
Tony.
Yes.
So you did get one of those guesses. I think you said Tony amongst those. Tony, Tommy. I said Donnie. That wasn't it.
Donnie. No, Donnie. Donnie Wahlberg, maybe. Justin Long, I'm pretty sure, is in it too. Doesn't he play Doesn't he play the super excited kid or whatever.
Yeah, he's the the most excited of the
fan,
the Trekkies, Galaxies.
Yes.
The non-Trekkie Trekkies.
The one character, I have no idea what his actor name is, and the only other thing I think I remember ever seeing him in is he's like the one main alien that they deal with, who's like always got the creepy smile and like following you around. He plays the recruiting agent in Deadpool.
He's Enrico Colantoni.
I don't know what that is.
That's where that guy, I knew I recognized that guy in Deadpool. I don't remember where from.
Yeah, that took you a minute, man.
That took me so long. I've been curious about that dude since freaking Deadpool came out. I forgot he was.
Is he though?
His hair's so different.
He's not.
That's
listed on here.
Who?
They look identical.
It's not listed. It's not listed on his IMDb profile at all.
Who?
It would. His role in Deadpool was only for like 5 minutes.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
But it would at least be on there.
Are you sure?
Deadpool. Yeah.
If we're all talking about the same person.
Well, we're
Jed Rees. I just googled him.
Yeah, it's a different guy. Because the main alien's Enrico Colantoni.
Oh well, I guess we're talking about different guys then. I thought he was one of the main.
Now, now I'm still got this mystery happening.
Maybe he's not the main alien. Maybe he's like the main science alien. I don't know. He's the one I remember distinctly.
Because that guy in Galaxy Quest is the main thing we need to confirm.
I'm working on it.
Jed Rees is 100% the guy who plays the recruiting agent in Deadpool. 100%.
Jed Rees. Okay.
Jed Rees. He is. I'm on the IMDb page now.
Yeah,
I have confirmed it.
And he is in Galaxy Quest.
Was it Patrick Breen? Is he the main alien?
No, it's Mathazar. It's Enrico Colantoni.
Yeah.
Colantino.
Yeah.
Something Italian.
Babbity boopy.
Podcasts.
Words.
You went there.
I went there.
He plays Teb in Galaxy Quest, which is not a main character, which is not one of the main aliens. But
he's the only one I remembered, to be honest with you.
I think he makes out with somebody. That's why. Or am I thinking of somebody else?
You're thinking of
the chick alien.
You're thinking the
Tony
chick.
Shalhoub and the
Yes.
Yeah, that was my bad. I got that mixed up.
That chick, I searched her the other day. Her IMDb page is friggin' huge.
Yeah, she's been in a lot of like secondary roles.
A lot of
TV shows.
Do you guys ever look at that where you see someone's IMDb page and you're like, man, you've done more things than I've been alive. What?
That's a lot of IMDb's, man.
Like, it blows my mind. The fact that some of these people, like, I got to give them credit. I've been watching Community, which I'll talk about later on WWWTW. So many people pop up in that show. I'm like, oh, hey, you played this very, very minor character in 47 other TV shows I've watched, and yet here you are again playing a very minor character. Congratulations, because you built a solid career around 30 seconds worth of footage in every TV show.
That happens with every one of the DC shows for me, because they're all filmed in Vancouver, and every other show I watch is also filmed in Vancouver. Like Supernatural, Smallville back in the day, so you catch Smallville actors, like just these like not extras, but like secondary characters who just come in to be a villain for a week, and you're like, dude, this guy's been a villain in every superhero show I've ever watched.
Like the fact that Kim Coates was in Smallville, and I was like, holy shit.
Yeah, there's so many. Smallville had literally, like, I don't know an actor who isn't working now. Who wasn't, except for Tom Holland, or Tom Welling, not Holland.
Yeah.
Tom Welling. He's the only one not working now. Well,
he's working.
Is he? What's he doing now?
He's got a TV show on, was it Space?
No.
So what is he's doing another TV show right now, man.
What's the name of this show? It doesn't.
Fuck, I don't know. I don't watch it. all I know is he's definitely doing something.
Well, at least he's working. I'm happy for him.
Tom Welling.
You get so off track.
I'm just so happy. I'm just so happy for him. Yeah, it's true. Lucifer.
Anyways.
He was on Lucifer.
Is he like a star? Is he like a
Marcus Pierce?
Cast?
I think yeah.
Oh, I haven't watched Lucifer. That's one of the comic book shows I haven't watched yet.
Yeah.
It's a police procedural with the devil as a character, and I'm just like, nope, I don't need to see CSI with a character.
CSI Satan.
That's pretty much what Lucifer is. It's just, like, he got bored in hell and decides to come to LA, and this chick he's hooking up with gets killed, and he decides, oh, I'm going to solve murders now. And it's like, dude, it was your fault that she got murdered, probably. You're the devil. Like, what? I couldn't do it. I couldn't even start that show.
Yeah. Live long and prosper.
Yeah, that's not the
No,
line
it's
for
never
Galaxy
give up,
Quest.
never surrender.
Which I still use to this day. Never give up. Never surrender. Oh, okay. That's back to Galaxy Quest for our listeners.
Yeah.
We lost track of us somewhere along the way. If you're even still listening, who knows? We don't.
We don't.
We really don't.
I wouldn't bet on it.
Neither would I.
We probably lost him when we got derailed right off the bat.
Yeah.
That's if we ever had them.
That's true.
Anyways,
we love Tim Allen, even though we kind of got sidetracked off him.
we
This
got
is a
way off
crazy week.
track. It was hard to stay on topic with him because you can't say a whole lot other than he's a funny guy and it's enjoyable. Some of his movies, like I didn't want to say that the whole time, to be honest.
Yeah.
But that's a lot of.
He's in more TV shows than he was movies, and I stand by that. The Shaggy Dog, you can probably skip that one,
Definitely.
unless you like Shaggy Dogs. But you can watch most of his other kid movies as adults and still enjoy it.
Yeah, for the most part. But should we get on to what did we watch this week then, guys?
Sure.
I think so. I want to hear what Craig watched this week.
Yeah, since he hasn't talked at all for this Tim Allen episode.
What are you talking about? I did lots of talking with Tim
It was a
Allen.
joke. It was a joke.
So this
sensitive.
week I watched. I'm so sensitive. This week I watched Galaxy Quest.
Nice.
I
Only one of
specifically
us.
went and hunted it down.
It's on Netflix, isn't it?
It was on Netflix, and then it wasn't.
They took it down?
And then, no, but you know where it is? Prime Video.
Crave?
No, it's on Prime
what?
Video.
Oh, it's on Prime. Oh, nice. Cool. I have Prime.
Look at that. Yeah, so do I.
And as a side effect of that, I started to watch Parks and Recreation because it's also on Prime.
Nice.
Nice.
Yeah,
I haven't watched that.
And-
I've never seen that show. I've been meaning to try it or check
it's
it out.
excellent.
Which is what I've heard. I'm so bad at starting sitcoms because they feel like such a commitment. Because I'm just like
The first episode is always the hardest to get into for a sitcom because you know the pilot changes between episode 1 and episode 2.
it's so much. Yeah, it's just like
The first time
it's
I
distracting
tried
to me
watch,
too.
The first time I tried to watch Parks and Rec, I couldn't do it, and that's why I
Yeah.
kind of left it alone. It was also a hassle. But now that it's
I'm
easy
not
to
a
get
huge
to.
fan of Amy. Was it Amy Poehler?
Amy Poehler.
I'm not a huge fan of her. I like everyone else on it.
Exactly. I watch it for everyone else. I could do
Yeah.
without Leslie Knope, but
Yeah. Nope.
but you get oh, now I'm gonna blank on everybody's names.
Is Aziz Ansari in that one? Or is he 30 Rock?
Yeah,
Yeah,
Aziz
yeah, yeah.
Ansari's in it.
Okay.
Nick Offerman's in it.
Yes.
I get the
What's-his-face
cast of
is in
this
it.
and 30
Ron
Rock mixed up.
Swanson. Yeah.
Yes,
It's got the it's got the
it has
chick that
Aubrey
Jim
Plaza in
dated.
it.
Yes, Aubrey.
Ooh.
Yeah, and it has.
I'll give it a watch something.
Why can't I remember his name?
Are you thinking the guy who plays Star Lord?
Yeah, man.
Oh, Chris Pine.
Chris.
It's
Not Chris
Not
Pine.
Chris
Pratt.
Not Pine. Pratt.
There we go.
Pine's the other one. Too many Chris's.
Chris
Hems.
Pine is a
Hines.
failed rock star who
You say
lives in a
Hines?
cabin in the woods. I said Pine.
I said Hems and then
Oh.
Pine.
I said
Hines.
Isn't Pine the one that was in
Wonder
Chris
Woman.
Pine is
Yeah.
a disgraced rock star who lives in a cabin in the woods.
Yes.
I don't get
Give
that
me the
reference.
fever, taking it higher.
That is a wet hot American summer
Oh, it's
reference.
in. Give me the
Okay, now I
fever
get it,
in
okay.
into the fire.
That's first day of camp. Though,
Taking
right?
it higher and higher. Yeah, because he's in love with
with Lindsay.
Elizabeth Banks.
Yes,
Yes.
Lindsay.
I thought it was Jesse's girl.
You know, I wish that I had Jesse's job.
That's all I got for you guys.
So what else did you watch
Yeah.
this week, Craig?
What else I watched this week? I watched the newest episode of Mike Tyson Mysteries, literally before we came on here.
Ooh, nice. What was this week's
Yeah.
episode about?
It's called Carol.
Carol.
Yeah.
Is
it
it
was
another one of
about-
Pigeon's lovers?
No, it's pretty much just a Mike episode. It's weird.
Okay.
Yeah, it's about this.
They haven't had a new episode out in a while. It
I know.
seems.
But then I just
Because
happened
last
upon
one
it
was the
today.
one in the last one was the one in the elevator, I think, wasn't it?
That sounds right.
Or maybe one after that.
Carol was their mystery this week was about this lady who works in an office job who has a secret admirer, and she doesn't know whether people are making fun of her or whether it's true. So she hires Mike Tyson to investigate it, and he fires somebody so that he can have their job, so that he can work at the place that she works at.
It's a very Tyson move.
It's one of the stronger jokes, but I'm gonna ruin it anyway. When he first shows up, he's like, I can't even remember who. We'll go with Jennifer. He says, "Oh, this is Jennifer's desk," and Carol's like, "Well, where'd Jennifer go?" I told her they laid her off. And then he's talking to a couple of guys in the lunchroom a little later, and he's like, "Man, I don't like to gossip, but did you hear about Jennifer? She got fired for stealing."
Yeah, that's a total Mike Tyson move in Mike Tyson Mysteries.
Oh,
that show is so good.
I gotta start that again. I've only seen the first season or the first.
Oh man,
half of the
it's
first
but it's so easy to
doesn't take
binge.
long. It's 10 minutes.
Oh, I know.
10 minutes.
It's great.
It's just because I haven't like I watched it like when it first got added to Netflix, and I just lost track of it at one point. That's all.
Oh fuck it, Craig got me onto it.
Yeah, it's kind of ridiculous because I'm not the biggest cartoon guy, like not the big like those types of cartoons especially. But that one,
It's over the top.
I watched it with,
that's how good
yeah,
it was.
which is why I was okay with it, because I was like, okay, because there's ones like BoJack Horseman that I'm like, I don't want to watch.
BoJack Horseman isn't a comedy as much as it's a life show.
Yeah, I just meant it was.
I thought you were gonna say as much as it's a lifestyle.
I was saying more like an adult cartoon show, for an adult audience. I don't generally watch any of them, like that or South Park. I don't like, but this one I thought was pretty funny. I didn't watch it myself to start. I watched it with somebody else, and then I was like, oh, this is funny enough to watch the whole first season.
It's
especially
so
since
good.
they're only 10-minute episodes. So
exactly. It's just little bite pieces, and they always end in the weirdest spot. And you go, wait, is that the end of the? Oh, yep, that's the end of the episode, because you hear the music go. Yep. And they added him talking at the end of all the episodes.
Yep.
Which just makes it even more
That's
ridiculous.
Great. Yeah, that's great. Yeah, I'll have to definitely catch up on that. Is there 2 or 3? Is there 3 or 2 or 3 seasons?
Third season.
3 seasons.
Now. Yeah.
Okay, so I have 2 to catch up on.
Yep. I watched Robin Hood Men in Tights.
Nice.
Again.
Did we? Okay, I was gonna say, did we talk
it
about this not very long ago? Okay.
Yeah, I just watched it. The other thing that I have here is they just added everything Monty Python's ever done to Netflix.
Yes.
So
yeah,
I've
we
been
talked about that
watching
last week.
Flying Circus.
Oh, nice.
So far.
Right on.
Yep. That's those. I've got through a handful of episodes. Hilarious.
They revolutionized comedy.
They really did.
Yeah. I really can't get over. Like, it doesn't look dated either. It is, but it doesn't look dated.
Extremely.
They don't
yeah.
use a lot
Very
of. They don't use a lot of like really old stuff in it. Like, there isn't a whole lot of telephone bits.
Yeah.
There isn't a whole lot of.
It's mainly just them doing shit. It's them doing like slapstick
It's very
comedy.
relatable situations more than anything. It's like, oh, you could easily find yourself in this same or similar situation at a store or dealing with some customer service person or whatever scenario they cooked up this week. It's like, yeah, okay. I think that's the best part about it. It's so relatable too. Like, you're kind of just like, oh god, I could definitely like almost imagine you being in the same situation, dealing with somebody like themselves or who they're dealing with or whatever.
As long as it's not the meaning of life, because you will not deal with many people like that.
That's true.
No.
I meant more Flying Circus.
Yes.
I haven't watched a lot of it. I've only caught like clips here and there, but I've been meaning to start it since it's been added.
At one time, I would have thought it wasn't worth it, but now that I've started to watch it, it is worth it. They used a lot of it for, and now for something completely different.
Yeah.
Because it's just because that's basically just a compilation movie.
Oh, okay.
But it's
that's why they rip off most of it. Yeah.
Yeah. It's
they
possible
just
that maybe
used
that's
it as a
what I
compilation.
saw the clips from.
Yeah.
But no, I have to get into them now that they're all added to Netflix, and we'll definitely do an episode soon to talk about it next month or so. I think we should.
I think we should.
Absolutely.
Once we've had a chance to get through most of them.
Yes, especially.
And now for something completely different.
Yeah, actually, surprisingly, you hit that right on the head. I didn't watch a whole lot else, but because it happened today and it frustrates me, I'm going to talk about it. So Facebook signed a contract with the MLB to broadcast a handful of games, and
on Facebook.
Yeah, on Facebook. And some of us pay for the MLB TV so that we can watch all of the games, all of the time. And guess what was on the freaking Facebook today and blacked out on MLB? The Jays game. Oh, yeah. I was not happy.
No,
tell me you called your service provider.
Not a happy subscriber.
I would have got it canceled right away.
They'll be hearing from me because, like, it's stupid that...
They'll be hearing from my lawyer.
That Facebook can get such exclusive rights that they can't, like, I don't care if you want to have the Facebook announcers, because it was national, right? So it was Facebook announcers doing a Facebook oriented thing, which is garbage in and of itself, but I don't care. If you put all of that onto MLB TV and I can still access it, then that's fine. I know
because you can still watch the game.
Facebook wanted to drive their they wanted to drive up their traffic. I don't even care if you put ads in halfway through. Like, put ads in between the innings. I don't get ads.
At least let you watch. Yeah, at least let you
put
watch
it on the same
fucking
platform
game
that I normally watch it on, right?
Yeah, that's ridiculous.
It took way too long for me to figure out how to get the stupid comments off the screen as you're watching the live video, which I don't know why anyone would ever want to watch anything with comments flapping up on the screen.
I don't know who's commenting on that. It's like there's too many fucking people.
It was mostly people complaining about it.
Yeah, that makes sense. Like,
it was mostly people like, this is garbage, why are we watching it on here?
Yeah.
And then you're like, oh, maybe we should just X out of this and not watch it on this.
Yeah.
I don't know why Facebook and Twitter think we want to watch live sports.
I have no interest in it.
I've never been on Facebook for 2 hours in my entire life, let alone 4 hours to get through a whole sports game. Like, or
3
Twitter.
minutes when you're on the shitter.
Yep.
Or if in Scott's case, if you're sitting on the bus.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. The half hour
that
is
is
on the bus, and even then I'm on Instagram because Instagram's easier. I just gotta double tap.
Yeah.
Now
there we go.
The only good, that and they were plugging. So like most other broadcasts, if they're going to plug anybody's social media, they usually go to Twitter for an athlete, right?
Yeah.
They were going straight to Instagram because it's a Facebook property.
Yeah, because they're affiliated.
Which kind of frustrated me a little bit, but that's not the point. I trust MLB because their internet game is really good in terms of like their online presence is the platform that other leagues are buying.
Really?
Because of how strong the MLB's online presence is. I can't believe that they'll redo this. I think it was just a trial run.
Yeah, well, that seems a little ridiculous too. Like if I was in your position, I'd be like, call them up and be like, hey, I pay for this service and you're taking away stuff from me to give to Facebook so you can make more money.
I want a refund. If Netflix had Netflix only stuff and I was specifically buying Netflix to watch the Netflix things, and then ABC was like, nah, I just want one episode, and that's the only place you can get it is over the air on ABC today.
Exactly. That's exactly the same thing.
Yeah.
So like, it's ridiculous. It's a little bit like, I don't know how exactly they can.
I don't know how they can justify that.
Yeah.
Like,
yes. What frustrates me more is that MLB, it's all subject to broadcast blackouts, right? Which I hope no one's listening. It doesn't happen in Canada, for whatever reason. Broadcast blackouts don't exist. They used to, but you don't get blacked out from Blue Jays games in Canada. I don't know why. But,
I don't think you legally can be. I'm pretty sure there's a law.
I think they probably changed that. It used to. It definitely happens in the U.S.
Yeah, no, but I know in Canada.
Home games.
Well, in Canada, it's that you can't hold Canadian contact back from Canadians. That's why we're allowed that's why we can still get antenna. That's why antennas are still a thing in Canada, because they can't.
Yeah, you can still get global CTV, CBC.
Yeah, because they have to allow that.
So I can watch the games, and Rogers can't say, well, we're not going to broadcast on MLB TV today because it's content that's owned by the MLB.
Yeah,
exactly. Yeah,
you can't say like ESPN can't take Sunday Night Baseball and be like, nah, it's just an ESPN game today. Sorry. So the fact that Facebook can say, nope, it's Facebook only. I don't know why they would do that.
Mark Zuckerberg's alien-looking ass can go sit on a chair in a corner and think about what he did, because this is pissing off.
Other point that I heard today was that they probably won't do it again because this all was done before Facebook had its thing.
That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah. So
they had like the contract and they had to do it once and that was it.
Well, it'll be whatever games get broadcast this year. I just hope there's no more Blue Jays games.
Yeah, really.
Yeah.
Tell them to eat shit and not do it again.
Yeah. I wanted to watch it.
Yeah.
And I had to watch it on my phone.
That's Oh god.
That's a piss off, yeah.
I've never watched anything for more than like 2 minutes on my phone, like 10 minutes max. And it's like, I'm not going to sit here and watch a whole baseball game on my 6-inch phone when I bought a TV or, a laptop that's got this.
Well, I could have done it on my laptop. I could have done it on the laptop too, but like, really, that's a lot of effort to watch it on Facebook.
Well, what if I want to actually do something on my laptop, like prep for a podcast while I'm watching baseball, and now I can't.
That's why I have the PlayStation with the MLB TV on it. Exactly.
There we go.
I figured MLB had an app. I was like, I'm sure they've got an app.
Oh, they do.
These sons of bitches.
Yeah.
Oh, they do.
They do.
And it's really good. Like, shout out to MLB and their TV app.
At MLB.
No, we're upset at them. Fantastic. They took it away.
No, they're fine. It's Facebook that I'm mad at. Well, Facebook thinking they should. Well, yes, partially the MLB too, but they do everything else so good, so I don't want to upset them.
Mark motherfucker bird.
I'm okay getting upset at Facebook. They've been dicking around for the last few fucking days. And I'm
yes.
So ready to flip off. Don't get me started. Let's not start.
I know.
Can we
have you heard
talk
back
about this for like a tiny little bit on the podcast just for the sake of it?
Yes.
We don't have to go into too much detail. But basically the gist of it is that your account got hacked and nobody stole anything. They applied money
to
our podcast as a campaign. Like, what is going on?
Yeah. Well, the stupidest thing is though, like now I'm dealing with them like. So they
finally got back to you, eh?
Well, they've kind of gotten back to me twice, but they haven't read the message I sent to them both times. They just sent me back being like, oh, this is where you can find your billing information. I'm like, I don't need to know where my billing. I already looked. This is why I know I have a bill that I didn't charge. You people let some fraud.
Someone else
steal my account and spend money, and then apparently I'm accountable for this $5 now. And I'm like, I just want to talk to somebody who speaks English and who I can talk to and get my problem solved by, the third richest company in the fucking world. Can't afford a couple customer service people. It takes 2 days for them to respond. Like, this is why I couldn't start. This is why I can't start. Let's talk about something not Facebook related.
Scott, what did you watch this week?
To whoever it was who hacked Scott's account and boosted us as a podcast, thank you, but
I hope he didn't do it with a stolen credit card. Yeah.
I'm 100%
maybe
sure it probably was.
Oh, yeah.
Probably. What a weird thing to give money to, though. Oh, man.
It's ridiculous.
Next time, just crowdfund us. Thank you.
Yeah, just start a campaign for us instead of hacking my account and starting a ad campaign with some random credit card, which didn't even get charged because you set a threshold. So Facebook doesn't charge you until you hit like $25 in spending, right? But I canceled the fraudulent shit on my account before then, so they just deleted this credit card but left the $5. And I'm like,
so you owe them $5 now?
Oh, they're trying to get me to pay them $5. Every time I open the Facebook app, it says you owe $5 something, and I'm like, fuck
like,
you,
eat
Facebook.
Shit.
I've messaged
Go sit in a corner.
I'm like, this is a fraudulent charge. Get rid of it. I'm not paying you. You're not getting my credit card information. F you, Facebook.
Go sit in a chair in a corner and think about what you did.
Andrew, tell us what you watched so I can calm
down.
Somebody tell us what they watched.
Yeah. So I watched a little bit of The Last Man Standing.
Yeah.
Nice.
In preparation, as well as Toy Story in preparation for Tim Allen. Itch. Yeah, ish.
No, I said H.
Oh, H.
You said preparation twice, and I'm like, H.
Preparation.
There we go.
Preparation H joke. But I had to explain so it's not funny anymore. Back to you.
I don't have hemorrhoids, motherfucker. I'm too young for that shit.
That wasn't what I was implying. I was just trying to make
old at heart, but not old in colon. Anyways, so I also went back and watched a little bit of Gallivant.
Nice.
Because I don't know why. I was doing something. I can't remember what it was. I remember texting Craig about it.
Because there's no such thing as too much music.
Too much Gallop. No, that's true.
I feel like it's your perfect background show too. Like
it is, because you don't actually have to watch it. I feel like I was
singing happening the whole time, and
Maybe I was doing laundry or something. I
feel
can't
like it's
remember.
not the most complicated plot to follow.
No.
Yeah.
No, it's just to listen to the music, really. That's the only reason I've ever watched it.
Yeah.
Here's what's been happening on Gallivant. So good. And they get stuck in your head. Anyway, so I was watching Gallivant, and I love everything about that show, other than the fact it only had 2 seasons, and they need to make 14 more seasons, and a movie.
You always gotta have that movie on the end.
Yeah, and a movie. Speaking of which, I also watched Community.
Nice. Which hasn't
6
gotten its
seasons in a
movie
movie.
yet.
Which hasn't gotten his movie yet. I'm 5 seasons in, been watching it at the shop, and that show is phenomenal as well.
Yes.
I told Scott yesterday, Joel McHale is in Spider-Man 2.
Which I didn't know.
Which he didn't know. And I wished after I had told him that I hadn't, because it would have made good reaction content for the podcast, for you listeners, but I mucked up. That's on me.
Blank stare.
Instead you get, sorry.
Sorry.
Sorry about it.
Yesterday.
Yeah.
It's not surprising anymore. I went and looked up the
But,
clip. No, I didn't. I didn't look up the clip.
No, you didn't. No, you didn't. Look at the
I
clip.
didn't do it at all.
But Joel McHale, I love his hair, even though it might be, it definitely is, hair transplant. I love his hair, and as you can see, for you watching, I model my hair after it because it works with my receding hairline, just like it works with his big-ass forehead. It works perfectly. This is a good hairstyle for receding hairlines for those of you who have it. Yeah, I noticed that show starts off as it's based around Jeff. Jeff is the main character at first, and somewhere around the middle of like season 2, Abed becomes the main character. Out of nowhere.
It's because of all the people that watched it and suddenly thought that they identified with him, and that's how the writing shifted.
Yeah,
people just decided they were on the spectrum somewhere.
People all decided that they
identified
were
with
the
him.
people. Well, people. No, I think it's more that people thought they identified with them. People think
That's what I mean. Yeah.
there are a lot of, especially in the target audience for that TV show. There are a lot of people who think that they're the quirky weirdo, but everybody can't be the quirky weirdo.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, really.
I'd agree
But
with
everybody
that. Like,
thinks
that's what I
that
meant.
they
Like,
are.
not on the spectrum necessarily, but everybody thinks that they're the quirky guy. They see him as just that quirky weird guy, and they're like, "Oh, I'm that quirky weird guy." Those are the people who identified with him, which is why I identify with Joel McHale's character because he's.
I was gonna say I feel like I'm a hybrid.
Because he's a handsome badass. Yep.
I feel like I'm a hybrid between Joel McHale because he's very conceited and full of himself, but I'm also a little bit Troy because I'm kind of dumb sometimes. Where I'm like, ah, shit, I should have known that, but I didn't.
That's one of the great things about Community too, is that it brought it brought him into my life, Daniel Glover, or Donald Glover.
Donald Glover.
Yeah, Donald Glover.
Yeah.
Childish Gambino. God damn it.
There we go.
He doesn't even
Donald
go by
Glover,
that
yes.
anymore.
I know, that's the worst part. That's why I try to say his name, but then I screw it up every time. Anyways, Andrew, what else did you watch?
I also watched Monty Python: The Meaning of Life
Yes.
because every sperm is sacred.
Every sperm is pure.
Grand.
Oh, grand.
Oh, pure.
There you go.
There's a lot of them.
Yeah, there's a lot of.
Every sperm is, or maybe it's great.
Yeah, it is great.
Yeah, because if a sperm is wasted, God gets quite irate.
Yes, he does.
Yes, he does. That show, that movie, it's so off the wall.
I like the Miracle
single
of Birth.
direction.
I think that's probably one of my favorites is the Miracle of Birth with the machine that goes ping.
Yeah, it's
quite bare in here, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah.
No, you've got the machine that goes ping.
That goes ping.
I think we're missing something. The patient.
And at the end, when they're done, and they tell her, "Okay, so you did great. We're gonna send you your bill, and everything is available on Betamax."
Yep. Which is one of the only indications of them dating themselves.
Yeah,
is
that's
the
what I was
reference
just
to Betamax.
Yeah.
Yep.
But even then, that can be just a funny kind of joke too. It's like, oh,
Yeah,
it could
be.
Betamax.
you could make a sketch tomorrow that references Betamax, and people would think that was funny.
Yeah, because
Yep.
it's still kind of a funny joke.
It would be someone who's kind of like stuck in the past. That's all it is.
It'd be like putting out your EP on a tape.
Yeah. Or walking around town listening to a Walkman.
I hate those people.
Set to FM mode, and you're just getting the radio because you don't actually own any tapes, and you haven't been to Goodwill lately to pick them up.
That's the only place you can buy cassette tapes.
Yep. So the last
bands are putting them out now.
I don't know just which to be
bands.
Different.
They're not smart bands.
Oh,
no,
so
not bands that we listen to.
I feel like people trying to turn tapes into the next like vinyl. Comeback.
Except that they didn't. They needed to be told that tape does not hold its not its value, but it doesn't hold anything.
It's
it's a really bad storage medium.
Yeah, it's
unlike a plastic disc.
Yeah.
With lasered stuff into it. Like
yeah. Well, that's what they've done now is they're using laser etching to do it because they weren't before.
Yeah.
So now they're making HD vinyl. But anyway, back to what Andrew watched this week.
Anyways, I went and watched Rampage on Sunday in that shitty ass weather because my uncle was the giddiest person I've ever seen about seeing this movie.
Really?
He was so psyched to see Rampage.
What is his connection to Rampage?
Nothing. Not one thing.
He just got going to see Paul Bunyan.
Maybe. Yeah. I've got morning wood to chop. That was a Big Mouth reference.
Yeah, I actually got that.
I think that's what Craig was setting me up for.
That is
I'm
exactly
not sure.
where I was going.
Okay, good. I didn't want to pick up a reference that I thought you were making, but turns out
that's the only thing that's a reference to Paul Bunyan in a
that's true.
time.
The only reason I made the reference was because of The Rock.
Because The Rock?
Yeah.
Anyways, my uncle was so psyched to see it. We bought tickets, and his friend gave us a pizza 2-for-1 coupon.
Oh, nice! I used one of those.
So we used it, and he decided, I didn't, because I couldn't care less. He decided that we were going to use the D-box seats because they got them new in Belleville. They have those D-box seats.
What was that like?
Let me get to it. So I bought the tickets 2-for-1. It was like I think I paid like $23 for the one seat, or like I paid for one and then and that was so I paid $23 came off my credit card anyways.
Yeah.
So I paid that. We go and I go to print off my tickets at the machine and it says, sorry bro beans, you got to go to the counter. So I was like, okay, cool. So I go to the counter, they print off my tickets, I get an in-training guy, no problem. Right away, this scenario is infinitely better than my first Black Panther situation, okay?
Yeah.
So we go in and we go up. We have seats 9 and 10 in the D-box row. Some chick is sitting in seat 8, but she's 8? Yeah, 8. And then she's got her shit in no, it would have been 11, I guess. Seat 11 and got her shit because I was in 9. That makes sense. 11. She got her shit in seat 10. So I sat 9. I was like, I'm sitting in one of the seats we paid for anyway, so I ain't getting shit with no one.
Yeah.
My uncle sits in seat 8. Okay. We're like 45 minutes into the movie, and the seats haven't done shit.
Okay.
They haven't even like rumbled like I farted in it or anything. Just nothing. So my uncle leans over to me. He's like, "Is your seat rumbling?" And I was like, "No." He's like, "Are you sure? Can you check the one beside you?" And I was like, "Yeah, nothing's happening, man. They're not working." So after the movie, I didn't really care because even though we used the 2-for-1 coupon, it cost about the same as it would have as if we had bought regular tickets. I was like, whatever. I don't give a shit. Let's just go home, man.
It's whether this.
Yeah. But my uncle decided he had to talk to someone about it. Yeah. So we talked to the usher. The usher redirects us to another usher.
Yep.
Who then redirects us to the assistant manager, who immediately, after giving her our tickets and being like, well, we paid for the D-box, but they didn't work, refunded us more than what I paid.
That sounds about right.
I paid $23, and they refunded me the price for that, plus the price of the other ticket.
Well, because you're not going to get to use that again.
No,
right? You're not going to get to use that coupon again.
Yeah, we are, because they printed it on a coupon off that gave us the 2-for-1 code.
Oh, so they did what they were supposed to do.
Yeah, like I made a profit technically off this.
Well, yeah. You complained.
$25 ahead.
Well, I came up $12 ahead.
$12.
They gave us the cost of like a regular ticket on top of it.
Oh, okay. That was the part I wasn't sure about. Yeah.
So I made a profit off seeing the movie. So Belleville, what are you? I guess you're Galaxy.
Yeah.
Belleville Cineplex, Galaxy Cinemas. You redeemed yourself after the awful Black Panther scenario.
By literally bribing him with money.
By literally giving me a free movie, putting money in my pocket, and allowing me to see another movie later, 2 for 1. I appreciate it.
Paid for the gas for that trip.
It did.
Close.
Yep. But no, Rampage was a pretty good movie. It's nothing special. It's a good movie. I hope I didn't draft it, but it was pretty good. Although I think it's like the #1 movie in North America right now for the next 6 days.
Yeah, but that's only 30 million.
Yeah.
I was watching
only.
like only compared to like, the fact that Black Panther opened with 300 million in America.
But besides that, speaking of Black Panther, I just gotta say, why the hell is it still in theaters?
What do you mean?
It's still in Galaxy Cinemas.
It had a 5-week run at #1.
It comes out on DVD in 3 weeks, man.
It's still making money.
Yeah.
Why would you pull something that's still making money?
You can still see. Like,
it just
The
doesn't
Last
make
Jedi
sense
in
to
a
me.
few places. You can find
What?
like you can find
It's out-
Jumanji out some places. Yeah, well, because some theaters pay for the rights and they've got it for a certain period of time. And if they haven't put it out long enough, they just got to pay for a new movie. That means, you know what I mean? Like,
I guess so.
You have to think of like your theater that takes forever to get it. Some of them are just keeping them longer instead of
selfish fucks. That's why I don't get any of the good movies here in town.
Pretty much.
Because these selfish fucks out there are holding them for too long. God damn it.
So, just an update on the drafting situation. Remember we did 5 rounds, then we did 2 rounds of wild card stuff? Rampage is my wild card. One of my wild cards.
Oh, okay.
So, if it does better than Tomb Raider or Ocean's 8, you better believe it's getting pulled in.
It's doing better than Tomb Raider already.
Yeah.
It actually passed Tomb Raider on the global charts, I believe, on Monday.
Well, then I guess we'll see just how bad Mamma Mia is.
Yeah, really.
Yeah.
Because that's the other one, and I think our decision was that we could pull one of the two in.
Yeah.
We're allowed to use one to substitute.
Yeah.
Well, Rampage, it looks like you're about to get a bump to the top 5.
There we go. Pay raise, buddy.
You never know, though. Mamma Mia could be some good counter programming.
It could just blow up.
Like, cause like it could go like the 50
It'd be like
Grey
Frozen.
route, or the 50 Shades
Yeah.
route, too. Like that seems like a very same-ish target audience would be females.
Well, yes, but a little bit of a different target audience.
Slightly. Well, yeah. It's that's definitely a lot more inappropriate. Maybe The Greatest Showman's a better correlation, because that's another musical that came out actually earlier this year and did crazy good, like surprisingly good. Everyone like it.
Well, that's what happens when you put 2 sexy motherfuckers in that movie with Hugh Jackman and Zac Efron.
Yeah,
I wasn't.
I agree.
Well, I was.
Beat me to it, Craig. Nice. Anyways, should I tell you guys what I watched then?
I guess so, if you want.
Done.
Yeah, I'll just go through it pretty quickly since we're getting pretty long on. I watched my normal things, Arrow, Flash, Legends. Well, Legend was wrapped up last week.
Yeah, Legends is done.
But Shield, they're all wrapping up soon. Black Lightning ends in the next week or two.
I think so, yeah.
Arrow's got another week or two. Most of them are done in another week or two.
This is week 22. I think they've got like 1 episode left.
Yeah, I think most of them are down to 1
or this is week 23, I guess, yeah.
Something like that.
Episode 23. Yeah.
But
Too many episodes.
Yeah, so I caught up on all those, and I also watched Gotham, which is finally kind of introducing the Joker finally. And I
didn't they just they hinted at laughing gas last week, didn't they?
Yeah, they were
or the Joker gas.
Yeah, so which they used all throughout this episode. But the guy who they've been hinting at becoming the Joker all this time, they killed
Jerome or whatever his name is.
They just killed him, and now it's his brother, his twin brother, is going to be the Joker, and that I didn't love, because.
Do you see this face, man?
Yeah, no, I'm on your side with that. I was always hoping they would just kill Jerome and then the Joker, but never have him actually be the Joker, but the real
Joker would like be like influenced by him.
Exactly.
Yes.
That's what
that would be way better.
That's what I wanted them to do, but which they still kind of can do because they haven't named him the Joker yet. Like no one's given him that names, but he had the smile. Like that's how they end the last episode. The Joker smile and the face. Big, the grin, the white face.
I'm so disappointed by this. Like, what a shitty way. Like, Why would they even bother killing him off to introduce like
just his twin brother? It was such a dumb
and where has his twin brother been this whole fucking time?
Hiding from him. That's what he's been doing. Literally just hiding from his crazy brother, because they grew up poor and he didn't want to be poor, so he lied about his brother being crazy, even though his brother really was crazy, and so like he's. But
this guy's just as crazy.
Yeah, that's the point. Like, and they use the line, anyone can go crazy, or like, what's the bad day line?
Yeah, anyone can have a bad day or whatever.
Or anyone, yeah, like something.
Yeah.
Something
I
like
know
going
what you
crazy.
mean,
Yeah. So they use that line a couple times, and he's like, "I want to prove to you." That's what he's like. So that's why he kidnaps his brother at one time. It's a whole. Dumb thing.
He kills his brother?
No, he kidnapped his brother.
Oh.
And then he ends up dying himself, but then he sends a package to turn his brother into the Joker, and it was dumb. I didn't like it. I'm not very happy about it. They've lost me a little bit. I've always liked the idea that maybe this
is aggro. I can feel my blood starting to boil. This just proves to me why I can't sit down and become a fan of this show.
Yeah, no, I'm finally kind of getting towards your end of it, because they're starting to do dumb stuff, like too dumb.
Dumb shit just to keep characters involved.
Yeah, and I'm just like, God, no, stop.
Like the way they introduced Solomon Grundy, the way you told me about that, that's cool.
Then they backpedaled
I can live with that.
A week later, they've ungrundied him. He's smart again. And I'm just
reference it, yep.
They ruined everything. Anyways, I'm not going to talk about that anymore.
They ungrundied him.
They did. They hit him in the head, and now he's just a normal dude with the Grundy skin. I'm not kidding. He's back to his normal self. He doesn't say I'm Grundy. I'm not even kidding. It's dumb. Let's not talk about it. We're going to...
Fuck!
I know. Anyways,
damn it!
I know. The other superhero shows I watched I watched Batman Beyond over the weekend, because...
Okay.
Gotta finish that before I see you next.
Yes. I appreciate it.
Yeah, I also watched Legion, because I got that online
love that show.
to keep up with, and I love it. I discovered this week that John Hamm is a narrator in the second season. Yeah, he doesn't do a lot.
Now I gotta go watch this.
No, I know, you gotta catch up on the first season, and then you can watch the second season. If you want to watch this, we'll talk about that after. We'll talk about Legion after. Anyways, yes, I found that out today, so that's pretty cool that in this second season he does it's not a lot of narrating, but he'll do at least one 5-10 minute clip in each, one little scene in each episode so far. He's done a little just narrates something that's happening, going on, explain something, and it's just a cool little treat that he was in it. First episode I thought it was him, but I was like, well, maybe it's just a John Hamm sound alike. Then the second episode happened. I'm like, I have to look this up, and Google Legion John Hamm, and 13 articles talking about it. I'm like, oh, yep, that confirms it. So that was a pretty cool little thing. Another little reason for you to check out Legion finally.
Yep, yeah, that intrigues me.
Yes, but the only other thing I watched all of the second season of Ash versus the Evil Dead that got added to Netflix. I've talked about that show before. I really enjoy it. It's a fun zombie show. I still have to watch the original movies that it's technically based off of, but they're hard to find. Only one of them's on Netflix, which I think's a little weird, but whatever. But that's a fun one. But that's all I've watched this week. And I think we're done for this week, aren't we, guys?
I think so.
Well, for those of you who had a hard time trying to keep up with us this week,
we'll keep trying.
Yeah, never give up, never surrender.
Man, I was going to use that to sign off. Okay.
I think we should all just say it once more.
Okay.
Yeah, I was going to say
I take it back. I take it back.
Nah, it's fine. It's fine.
Thanks for listening this week, guys. Make sure you check us next week.
Bye.
Never give up, never surrender.
There you go.